Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Ankush here from Alif Consulting. Welcome in our Creating a Better Digital Experience for Member case study. In this case study, we will be going to talk about how customers have hosted their website on Azure to create a better experience for their user. Well, here is the agenda of this video. So we're going to have a customer introduction. We're going to talk about the requirement like always on speed and flexibility, how their solution design is looked like, how they're maximizing the security and reliability, how they're enjoying the end-to-end ownership of their whole solution, and what are the future innovation they are doing it after this project. Right. So let's quickly jump into the customer introduction. So this customer have maintained their on-premise environment, and they are managing their main public website on the on-premise environment, which is hosted on the ASP.NET. Now, managing the legacy environment and need it up to date and keep it running is required a lot of efforts, and also required manually copying the file to server keep the IT team for more productive work, which could help them better serve current and prospective members. But by again managing the older infrastructure is always a problem. These are the things like copying the files or doing the certain tasks can be done using the automation. So that's where this lead them to building society to explore automation, automating, improving the IT processes, and building a multi-cloud web platform that would deliver better security, resiliency, portability, and visibility. So that's the reason to address these concerns, address all of these concerns. Customer move its main website to the Azure cloud from the on-premise, deploying the Azure Express Route direct from the on-premise, direct for the on-premise connectivity, Azure Front Door for front end of the website, and the back end is basically mix of Azure Reddit, OpenShift, a Kubernetes platform services, and the Azure App Services. The entire solution, the society first workload on the Microsoft Azure. It's deployed as an infrastructure as a code using the HashiCorp Terraform. So customer have deployed Express Route to get connected with the on-premise. They have deployed the Azure Front Door for the front-end security, for the network layer security, the layer 7 security. They have the OpenShift where they are running all of their infrastructure, including the app services. Now, all of this infrastructure is basically deployed using the automation tool, which is the Terraform. Terraform is the tool basically which is infrastructure as a code, and it allows us to manage the state of our environment. Right. So customer setup to customer set out to develop a streamlined and statically generated React.js web application to deliver it website, allowing it to eliminate the moving part from the running time and improve the website speed, performance, and the reliability. Using the all Microsoft services or using the services like uh, Azure Deep Front Door, Application Gateway, Azure Blob Storage is basically allows customer to like seamlessly migration of their existing website to the cloud and building it the security and storage from the start with the all of these products. Now, if there is any outage required disaster recovery, customer can use front door for automatically fail over the protection to their three global availability zone with the zone redundant storage. With the high availability in Azure, customer can quickly generate a new static copy of its website, deploy it in Azure Blob Storage, and then they redirect the traffic to the other cloud service to eliminate the downtime. Right. So what they have done, right, they are using the application gateway, front door, and Azure blob storage. So in case of there is any issues happen with any reason, what they do, they put their front door redirection to the maintenance page on the which is hosted on the Azure storage account, and allow them to do the maintenance, right, or allow them to maintain their outage or manage their outage. They are basically deployed their resources into three different regions within the three different zones within the region, which allowing which basically giving them redundancies across the workload. So in case of anything goes wrong into the one zone, they still have a two other zones available to do the uh, to make their application up and running. So this is how their solutions look like. So they were having their all of these applications deployed into the three different zones. So just forget about these reasons. So these are this is how their three zones has been deployed. So they were having a front door as a global, and then in the back end they were having the rest of the resources which is deployed into the different zones. And the Azure front door is basically managing and helping them to basic redirecting the request into the particular zones in case of anything goes wrong. With this, customer is maximizing this security, and in accordance with UK regulatory guidance, customer now protected its web environment by using the Azure Web Application Firewall. They have also deployed the Azure DDoS protection standard plan as a part of network security, which come pre-configured to detect the network attacks and block the cyber threat before they cause the damage with no intervention required. To enhance the monitoring, customer is using the Azure Monitor to track threats and detect performance issues it might oversee it might that have or it might have otherwise missed. To keep the peace of all the infrastructure configuration changes, customer is managing its deployment by using the infrastructure as a code called Terraform on Azure. Giving it to a success to the date, customer continue to frequently evaluate and deploy the new Azure product and service, including the Azure DevOps, to further streamline the process of making the deployments changes. So customer are using the Azure Web Application Firewall, using the front door and the application gateway. They were having the Azure DDoS protection standard plan. They were using for the all of these components. They were using for maintaining the security. They were using the Azure Monitor to monitor the infrastructure, which to monitor the environment and to detect the performance issue, which might be missed in case of we are not in case of customer was not having any kind of monitoring in place. They were using the Terraform uh, uh, for managing the infrastructure as a code, and then they were also planned to use the Azure DevOps to streamline their deployment and the pipeline processes. End-to-end ownership. With this, by having everything running on the Azure, customer is managing or enjoying the end-to-end ownership of their web deployment process, including being able to write and deploy the application code, which has created better visibility into the how customer is using the website and which line of business cost more money to run. As a monitor its environment, customer can use Azure services easily to identify the problems and improve the infrastructure without a lot of efforts, while also taking the advantage of new monitoring and automation capability having to do with the security and compliance. Deploying changes to the application code previously took a minimum of 3 weeks with multiple hands off, and the infrastructure changes could take a several months. Now customer can regularly deploy changes across all aspects of the application and the infrastructure every 2 weeks, and respond at a much shorter notice if a urgent update is required. Since customer is using automation tools like infrastructure as a code, Azure DevOps, they were having the security like Azure Front Door or application gateway. They were having the monitoring tool like the Azure Monitor, so which allow them to take the end-to-end ownership of each and everything, right? So they don't need to worry about, or they don't need to basically go to the other partners to basically monitor their environment. So everything they are doing it their own, and which help them to basically minimize the time to release their new codes, right? So earlier which took like 3 weeks minimum to hands off to hands off and run a code on their on-premise infrastructure. Now there is a drastically change into the timeline, right? It can be now done in a much shorter notice and a very less time. Customer is doing further innovation to extend this its infrastructure benefits. Customer looking the opportunity to refresh its website from ground up, rewrite copies, design cleaner and simpler visual, and creating a snapper and smoother feel and flow. The website update perfectly complement the performance benefit of its new strategically generated website running as a single page application using the JavaScript APIs and Azure. Considering where it been on its cloud journey and it near limitless future that ties ahead, the customer says its plan of expanding their investment is already made into the infrastructure and exploring the more opportunity. So it's not a one project which they are doing it. They have also planned to expand the Azure capability on their more applications, which they already have and running on the on-premise, and will allow them to basically run smoother because they already have taken the experience of how Azure works. Well, that's it in this case study. I hope you like this case study. If you like, please click on like and subscribe for more upcoming case studies, and feel free to reach us if you have any questions. Thank you.